I personally, professionally, have been working on this since I arrived here when the chief dispatched me to a national task force on this subsequent to the event that Shelley described in terms of Ferguson, Missouri. I think we're way behind. I think this was ready to go a year and a half ago. Here we are again. The pandemic only makes it quite more, to me, palpable that this should have already have happened. It was in last year's proposal. It's in this year's proposal. It is way past time for California to deal with this. This doesn't even also deal with the fact that when we talked about the fine and fee revenue system in California, it's not just for us in the judiciary, but this notion that you have judicial officers making decisions for which they benefit in terms of the revenue that comes into their system, principally, I think is just flat wrong. And that doesn't get talked about as part of that, but that should not be happening. This is something that's built up in government throughout the country over 3 decades as an alternative to finding other revenue for vital government services. But instead of raising taxes or finding other alternatives, what we've done is got hooked on fines, fees, and assessments and user things. And this is the example where it all seemed like a good idea at the time, every time we did this over 30 years. But now you get to a point 30 years later, and it really doesn't make sense. It's actually regressive. It's out of proportion. You can see all of the elements that are there, how this will help low-income folks. Heck, it'll help all kinds of folks. It's better than other alternatives because there still has to be a consequence for bad behavior. And so those principles get lost when you get to a point that you just keep stacking fines and fees on top of people to the point that what we created in America is nothing short of debtors' prisons. And that's not appropriate, and it's wrong, and we don't do that, and we don't allow it.